Hello everyone, today we're going to check brake rotors, and we're going to check brake rotors for thickness, and then we're going to check them for runout or warpage on the brake rotors. Both of these checks are very, very important on a vehicle as to if you have a brake rotor that is too thin, what could happen here is it may warp more easily. It could shatter under a heavy braking situation. That's unlikely. But most importantly, they won't remove heat fast enough, and you'll suffer from brake fade, and that could be very dangerous. So we always have to make sure that the brake rotor is above the minimum thickness. So the first thing I would do is take a dial caliper here, and if you look at a dial caliper, there's a little notch out in here in the dial caliper, and what this is for here is sometimes there's a little ridge on this brake rotor here of rust, and so you want to make sure that you get through here. And I'm going to check it here for thickness right here, and I got 1.278 when it was on there. So I don't know if that's good or bad. This is a brand new rotor, so it's probably going to be good, but I'm going to look it up in the service manual, on the online service manual. So yeah, so make sure that the brake rotors are within minimum or above the minimum thickness, because if they're below, you need to discard them and replace them. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a dial indicator, and we're going to check for runout on this brake rotor. And the first thing I want to do is I got to set this up, and there's a vice grip right here, and I'm going to take the vice grip here, and I'm going to set it up on any of the frame bolts, mounting bolts, anywhere here that I need to, and just a good steady place to put it. So okay, I'm going to go ahead and clamp that on there. Okay, now I'm going to take and I'm going to screw this on here, just like so. Now, you don't normally need to take the bracket off to do this, but I just happen to have the bracket off already to begin with. But you just want to be able to get a good spot on there. And then note that you need to have the nuts on the rotor. It needs to be hand tightened down onto the rotor, so that way I can take and so that way it's not wobbling on there, and I can get a true reading. Now, when I put the dial indicator on there, I want to make sure that I grab it on this sleeve here, not on the moving part right here, on this sleeve here. And I want to tighten this down just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to arrange it the way I want it. So I've got it arranged here the way I want it, this way. Now I've got to tighten this down right here, this screw right down here. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down somewhat to the point that I need it. And then I'm going to take this little lever here, turn the lever, and that locks it into place. And I want to make sure I'm up against the rotor like that, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the rotor here, and you should have the vehicle in neutral, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm turning it here, and I can zero it out, or I can just count how far it moves. So, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn one full revolution, and I'm getting about 2/1000ths. It's moving from right about 21 to 18, 19, somewhere in there, back and forth, and I'm getting that consistently. So yeah, actually about 3/1000ths total. So my number isn't changing. So I would need to look in the service manual here to see if that's acceptable. 3/1000ths is actually getting pretty high on there. So I would want to look, and I would want to see if that's acceptable. And so that's how you check the rotor runout. And you'd want to do that on the front and on the rear if it has rear rotors. So thank you very much, and have a great day.